Hi guys, it's another Tuesday night and less than 2 weeks till Christmas. Unbelievable. So as always, we're going to wait a bit and let people sign on. And then I'm going to be talking about a video that's excellent. So I'm going to give you kind of the crash course on that. Hi Candy. And then we've got a link where you can watch it for yourself. But we'll be repeating some information, but I'm really hoping it brings everything together. So hope everybody's tolerating this ridiculously cold weather. I, not so much. My arthritis doesn't like it very much at all. So we are going to have a bit of housekeeping again tonight, but very brief, I promise. Hope everybody's doing well with preparing for the holiday season, as it's, like I say, rapidly approaching us. So I know I was in shock when I thought about it tonight before signing on, that it is literally less than 2 weeks till Christmas. So craziness. We're going to be waiting till at least 3-4 minutes after till we get a few more people joining us. Please leave comments so we know you're there. We so appreciate it. We want to hear from you. We want to know you're there. And again, I'll be repeating this stuff here in a few more minutes. But let's see. Craziness of my day. I was a dingling and thought my appointment was today. Drove all the way to Grand Rapids to have them tell me it's Thursday. So, to say the least, that was a little disheartening. I was not very happy with myself. I had it in my calendar wrong. I had it in my head wrong. But anyway, it wasn't too bad of a drive. It was sunny out. The roads were clear, so that was good. Candy, where is everybody? Usually we get more signed on by now. So Candy is one of our awesome team members who really makes this Facebook thing work for me. Otherwise, I'm rather inadequate other than getting on here and sharing information. So she's wonderful with all of that. And Christy, also amazing, keeps us on track. Hi, Julie. Good to see you. So anyway, I like to say hi, but we'll see how things go. I've got a fair amount of info. It's not things that you haven't heard before, but it will be presented in a new fashion. Hi, Joe. And hopefully you will learn a bit more. And as I say, gosh, this video, you have to watch it. But got about 1 more minute here. Hope, Joe, you were safe on the roads today, that you got to go north instead of south, because north was not bad at all. I was impressed. I actually thought it would be worse. So there's, hi, Joe. Where is Christy, guys? She's not on yet. Hi, Julie. So it is about 3 after. I hate to keep people waiting, so I'm going to get started again with some basic housekeeping. I'm Joy, a physician assistant, have been for over 30 years. I'm also a marketing director for a biotech company. And gosh, these products that we have are so amazing that I just continue to want to share. They continue to do so much for me and others that I know of. The testimonials are fantastic, not only for humans, but also for animals. And there's a lot of information on athletes as well. So tonight the other thing I want to be sure is that you please comment so that we know that you're there. And of course we want to hear what you have to say. If we're no longer live, there's not a red dot, then please put #replay and leave us a comment. We still want to hear from you. Or you can private message us at our Facebook page anytime, Health, Freedom, and Lifestyle. So there's Christy. Hi, Christy. How are you? So tonight, like I say, I'm going to be talking about a video that Dr. Karl Smith put out in 2014, actually, but it was brought to my attention by Christy to watch it recently. And oh my gosh, it is just so good at bringing everything together that I have to share it with you guys. And like I said, please make a few minutes to watch it. It is just about the revolutionary aspects of this product. And that's the thing I really wanted to bring home tonight. I've been focusing so much on specific information. I feel like I'm not getting the message across that this product is so awesome and so good for everybody and so good for your general health. So let me start. So as I said, Dr. Karl Smith, chiropractor, many years, someone had talked with him about the product a few years ago, and he just was like, no, not interested. Well, then he began to hear things about how it was affecting people, and then he began to do his own research. He didn't do research through the company, as a physician normally would. He went to the wisser.gov site, which has all of the medical journal articles out there, and that's where he began to research. Initially, he found 6,500 articles on redox molecules, realized that, yes, this is important science. And then when he decided to, or in 2014 when he made this, he said he looked online and it was like 11,000 research articles out there on redox signaling molecules. So even though it is still not commonly talked about or heard of, it is definitely an important technological breakthrough, a scientific breakthrough, and it is for everyone. But I will stress that through the video. So, or as I talk about the video, I should say. So one thing I'm going to do tonight is call redox molecules RM after a bit, just so that I don't stumble over my own tongue trying to get you all this information. So, but one of the first things he says is he's explaining ASEA, and he says it is amazing technology, amazing results, and amazing molecules. They are stabilized redox signaling molecules. We've talked a bit about the science. I'm going to do that a little bit more tonight. Nothing really in depth, but again, to just kind of bring things together. So a disclaimer always, we're not claiming any treatment or cure, simply that it can be preventive or to help your body heal itself. So only an FDA approved product can make claims to that. We're not FDA approved because it didn't go through those years and years and years of research and escalation of price, but it is FDA regulated. And as I say, we do know the product is quality. It's researched significantly. So, people want to know what it is, and in order to know what it is, you have to know what it's not. And I'm looking at my computer notes, so bear with me if I'm looking up here. It's not an antioxidant, it's not a vitamin, it's not a mineral, it's not an exotic fruit juice or a new water. It really goes beyond nutrition ingredients. It is impacts your health at a depth that no other supplement has ever come close to achieving or will in the near future, because we have a very patented product. So, and again, when someone says, is it like this or is it like that, his answer is always, no, it's unlike anything else on the market. And that is so important for people to understand. So I talked a little bit about him having done his research, going back to basics. Hi, Kathy Marie. Every cell has mitochondria, and those mitochondria produce energy, and that's how we stay energized, moving, living, all of those things. So there's two, in order for that to happen, there's two redox molecule types, and those are antioxidant and radical. I'm sorry, I lost my place here. Antioxidant activators and immune system communicators as well. That was another term, but anyway, I'll find it later. So those antioxidant activators, they block free radicals, or and that's produced as energy is produced in the body. Again, a natural part of the process. Antioxidants, also a natural part of the process. But the redox molecules really make all of that work more efficiently, and they increase the effectiveness of antioxidants by 500%. So clearly that's making a big difference in those free radicals in your body, getting rid of them and keeping us healthy. So one of the ways he talked about it is that antioxidant activators, they block those free radicals that attack and that cause inflammation. So without the RM or redox molecules, antioxidants are not lit up or don't function effectively. They need the right amount of those RM molecules, or I should say redox molecules, to light up and work effectively. So they function less effectively as we age, as the number of those molecules drops every year. And that begins to happen at puberty. So even healthy people really need to be on this product at a young age in order to prevent disease and to keep everything healing and healthy and functioning appropriately. So immune system communicators. The RM allow the cells to communicate vital messages for healthy healing cells. Their primary functions are protection, detection, repair, and replacement. So that really, again, helps to keep things moving efficiently in the right direction, because if you're reproducing harmful cells, that's something we don't want. That's when you start talking about tumors, growths, other things that we don't want. So we want to be replicating those very healthy cells, and that's one of the things that the immune system communicators do. So he equates this to, and when I say him, again, talking about Dr. Karl Smith, a chiropractor of many, many years. I'm not sure I introduced myself again, but I do want to mention, please make comments so we know you're there. We'd love to hear from you. If we're not live, if you could put hashtag replay and put that in a comment, we're so happy. And feel free to private message us with any specific questions at the site, or feel free to throw a question on tonight, and I will try to get to that. If I don't get it to tonight, we'll get to it another time. So thank you so much for being with us. So I was saying, Dr. Karl Smith compares the redox molecules to Extreme Home Makeover. I think because everyone is familiar with that. And the premise there is that it says, oh yes, we'd also like you to say where you're tuning in from, if you would, please. Thank you for the reminder, Christy. Hi, Kathy. So, Extreme Home Makeover. The thing about that, the reason they can take a broken down home and make it look brand new in such a hurry is that they have both materials and laborers or labor people available. Well, what happens with redox molecules is that there's not enough of those, then the labor is gone. So nothing happens as efficiently or as rapidly. You can imagine those extreme home makeovers would not be happening rapidly if there wasn't material and labor. With us, we always have the material, protein, sugar, vitamins, supplements, other things like that. But we don't always have enough of the labor because, as I said, those RM molecules begin to diminish from puberty on. So, very important. In the video, he then refers to a science behind a SIA video, which I think we've talked about in the past. So I don't want to heavily get into that because it's primarily physicians and other doctors promoting why this works so effectively. And I think that that's essential to watch, but I don't want to try and rehash that tonight. So we've already mentioned that we've got PhD, MDs, nurses, PAs, nurse practitioners, everybody, many health professionals involved in this who are all research-oriented, have looked at the science and understand it, and really that's why we're here promoting the product and trying to help others understand the product. So, the redox molecules in humans, when they're working at peak function, that we're performing at our best level. The other thing to mention here again is that they're native and non-toxic. We're simply replacing what is lost through natural aging. The history of the company, again, there's a video on this, which I think does it more justice, but I just kind of want to give you the summary of that, and if I make any mistakes, I'm sure Joe's going to help me out, but I'm going to be fairly non-specific. So, essentially, these redox signaling molecules were stabilized for brief periods of time by a very small biotech company quite a number of years ago. They weren't being successful at getting them to stay stable for an extended period of time. Not stable for an extended period of time, of course, it can't be put in a product and then distributed. So they were kind of stuck because they just were beginning to run out of money because, of course, all research is expensive. So anyway, the CEO of the company heard about the product and wanted to get involved, even though he has, at that point, 68, very successful businessman, lots of money, had no reason necessarily to do this. But he saw what the product was and knew the value that it had and really wanted to be involved. So he and some funders are the ones who took this project on, the goal to stabilize the product so that it could be distributed and could improve the health for many people. So what they did was to begin to do that. They were able to do that with the help of an atomic physicist and stabilize the product for extended periods of time, could produce it and distribute it. So they initially tried it out on 40 people. They wanted them to use it for 90 days. When they went back, they found out that those 90 people had increased from 40 to 135 people, and it was also now in 20 different countries. That means people were so excited about the product and the results that they were sharing with as many people as possible, which also means they were all probably using less than you're supposed to be using, but nonetheless they were still seeing results, which is exciting. So that at that point, they knew they had something of huge value, and they did end up talking to a pharmaceutical company who, of course, wanted the product to market, but that would have involved many years of research, FDA approval, escalating costs, all of those things, and they wanted exclusive rights to the product. They didn't want, and of course, to be FDA approved, nobody can be on it. So the people who were already seeing huge benefits would have been asked to be taken off of it, and they just didn't feel that that was right. They had people that were critically ill, that were doing much better, who actually had life-threatening diseases, who were showing significant improvement, who had not shown any improvement on traditional medicine. So the two main gentlemen funding the company, really didn't want to be taking it away from people, and they didn't want to have it just be available to people with tons and tons of money. They felt that instead of the $40 a bottle it is now, it might end up as high as $1,000 a bottle, which would just be ridiculously expensive for anybody on a regular basis. So for that reason, they turned down the pharmaceutical company offer and pursued this multi-level marketing company. That was a way they figured they could contain the costs, get it out to other people. But that's one of the reasons why many people still don't know about it, because it isn't the traditional way to get word out, and it's specifically not the traditional way to get information out to physicians. So if you're saying, why doesn't my doctor know? Why doesn't my doctor heard of it? Well, you know, unless you go back and do some research, having heard about this, you're just not going to see it. It's not in any of our journals yet. Now, my understanding is there is a new book being put out by a physician and or scientist. I'm not sure. But anyway, clearly physicians are scientists as well. But he's putting out a book that will actually be used in the education of new healthcare professionals. So it is going to be information that they will be taught in medical schools in the near future. So, hi Raymond. So anyway, so vital. And like I said, this is the exciting stuff that I think I've kind of been missing, that I wanted to bring forth for you guys so you understand, I don't know, the exciting and awesome opportunity that this is to make your health better, make other people's health better, and business. While a lot of people don't like multi-level marketing, this is really one of the simplest, most reasonable opportunities to get involved in. The team support is amazing. The resources are amazing. They're always out there every day. So I don't want to get too far from my video, so let me get back to that. But one of the doctors that has been involved with some of the information coming out on redox signaling molecules is called Dr. James Watson, and he's actually the scientist who was involved in discovering or proving the double helix of DNA. So if you have any scientific background, you know that that was a pretty significant finding. So clearly he's had many other things as well. Hi Doug, but he did get a Nobel Peace Prize for that. Anyway, as recently as March of 2014, he wrote an article saying that he thought many of the diseases that are currently prevalent are affected by the lack of redox molecules in the body as we age. So he actually wrote an article that was called Type 2 Diabetes as a Redox Disease. Oh my gosh, controversial to say the least. But we really believe that that radical theory is correct. Just because of the previous information that we've had, the results that we've seen, and of course now our recent study that is showing the very significant effects on gene expression, and gene expression of course is involved in the disease processes. So one of the things that was earlier in my notes that I forgot is that when we talk about inflammation, it is actually what is the ITIS in diseases, so like arthritis, glomerulonephritis, endocarditis, all those things that end in ITIS, medical diseases, well, they can likely be improved, again, not treated or cured, we're not claiming that, but likely be improved with redox molecules. And again, safe, non-toxic. You can't take too much, although we don't just encourage you to take more than is recommended. It still is a very, very safe product. All we're doing is replacing something that's already in the system. So remember, on comments, please, we'd love to know that you're there. We'd love to know where you're from. If we're no longer live, if you can leave #replay and a comment, we would be so grateful. Please feel free to email us so we can have your email address and contact you at our webpage. So appreciate it. All right. So another thing I wanted to talk about with the product I haven't talked about before is that it is a 33-step patented process to make stabilized redox signaling molecules. So that in and of itself is pretty amazing. 33 steps in order to produce the product. So all patented, and again, it took them a long time in order for that to happen. A previous company, this company, lots of scientists, and a product that is FDA regulated. We know the product is in there, it's tested, regulated, and all of those things. So after 5 years of having the ASEA, which is the liquid product that you take by mouth, they wanted to have a topical treatment as well. It's our Renew product, and it was tested in a lab in Germany called Dermatest, and it shows decreases in eye wrinkles, facial wrinkles, and improves the texture and elasticity of the skin, as well as improving the moisturizer. And it is four simple ingredients. And if you look at any of the ingredient lists on most of the topical skin products, it is way more than 4. And these literally are salt, water, a clay for thickening, and a pH balancer so that it's good on the skin, acid-base balancer. So one of the things that happened that they weren't expecting is that athletes began to take the product. Well, they noticed improved endurance, strength, and recovery, and that wasn't just hearsay. Many of them went and got tested, and I apologize for all of you amazing athletes out there because I am not one of them, clearly. But so there's some lingo in here I'm not familiar with, but I don't really want you to worry so much about that as the improvements in those numbers. So hang on just a minute here. So like I said, they noticed improvement in endurance, strength, and recovery. They did some of the testing in humans, but they had done first some mice testing, and they noticed that mice had a 3% increase in what's called VO2 max, and a 12% in ventilatory threshold. So what that means, they say that in the Tour de France, if you have an increase in that VO2 from 1 to 2%, you can go from that 50th place to first place. So imagine the improvement that you're going to see getting a 3% increase in that. Also, as I say, with that 12% increase in the ventilatory threshold, that has a lot to do with the endurance, recovery, and all of those things involved in a heavy athletic process. So Christy's saying, turn in next week, we're going to be talking about testimonials, and we do have a bunch of them. So they also found within the athletes, or I should say in the mice, that the RM, or redox molecules, caused them to get energy from the fat. So they were burning fat first instead of other areas of glycogen storage, which is amazing because who doesn't want to burn fat first? So they clearly found that to be a great benefit as well. And not only is it easier on the body, something we definitely want to happen. I mean, at least most of us want to get rid of fat before anything else. They also found that by using the fat instead of other energy sources, you produce less lactic acid. And anyone who knows about exercise knows that lactic acid is a normal byproduct, but not a good one. So if we can decrease that, all the better. So was that testing on all younger people? Yes, all the athletes involved initially were younger people, but there's also older people. We have in the recent news a 70-year-old lady who had never done athletic events before and is now doing, I think, is it Ironman or triathlons? I don't know, but anyway, extensive exercise, and she is just got done winning, I believe, in Hawaii at 70 years old using the product. So we have Olympic athletes, we have triathlon athletes, we have Ironman athletes endorsing the product. These are people who are not paid to endorse the product, but notice the difference and won't go without it. And then there are some sponsored athletes as well, I believe. But yes, all of those were generally people, I would say, from what I've seen, 35 and under. But one of the physical therapists who's been involved in some of the exercise testing specifically for humans in his area is a 50-some-year-old gentleman who noted significant improvement in his strength, endurance, recovery, all those things. He was able to get back out and just push much more, gain a lot more ground more quickly on the product. So One other thing that people talk about with this is they worry about the salt that's being ingested, because it is a salt water product. And Dr. Karl makes mention that you would have to drink 2 full bottles of ASEA, which is a 16-day supply, in order to get 1 day's requirement for sodium. So it is a very small amount in there. Candy's got on here, it's Dexter Yeats. Check her out on Facebook.com, Dexter Yeats. Yeah, anyways, she's amazing. So she's out there doing this. And like I said, we have more and more Olympic athletes on it, and athletes all across the board. So the final takedown on this is that is a very comprehensive supplement. It really helps all those other things people take to work. Otherwise, if those redox molecules aren't there, they're simply not doing you any good. You're spending, or very little good. They're certainly not as effective as it can be with the redox. It's vital to everyone from puberty and up. It's safe, it's non-toxic, native to the body, and it can be life-changing. I'm telling you, the testimonials that are out there are amazing. For me, it's been life-changing, energy-wise, being able to wake up again in the morning. It's helped my inflammation, all those things. So it says, anyone interested in hearing a great athletic testimonial and the science behind why some Olympic gold medalists won't ever train without ASEA, there's a live call tomorrow. There's more info on the site for that. So, like I said, can be life-changing. It's definitely health improving. So take time to learn more, please, for your own benefit and everyone you love. And then, of course, I would just like to say happy holidays and be safe and be healthy to everyone, as I won't be here next week. But I so appreciate everyone checking in. Again, if you didn't get a chance to comment, tell us where you're from. If you could email us so we can have your email and contact you as appropriate. We're not sending out mass emails, none of that, but we would just like a way to contact you if we can. And of course, if it's not live, if you could do the hashtag replay and do that, that would be awesome. We so appreciate your attendance, putting up with me stumbling over things sometimes, but like I said, I really kind of want to pull it all together for you this week and help you understand how revolutionary this is, how much science there is behind it, how many healthcare professionals are behind it, and just really make you feel good about not only using the product, but sharing the product, because that's what's so important, because we really want to improve the health of not only ourselves, but as I say, all of our loved ones. So, all right. I think that's it for tonight. I don't see any little reminders here that I've missed something. So one thing I do want to mention, though, is please make the time to watch that video. He does so much better of a job than I did, but I wanted to give you a hint of what's in there, so you really want to get in there and listen. I've listened several times already, and it's awesome. Next week will be Christy and Candy. All right, thanks again. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, it says answer Julie's question about younger people. I believe I did answer the question on younger people. So was that testing on all younger people? If I thought we were talking about athletes, and I said yes, I thought that was everyone 35 and under, and that's why we talked about the 70-some-year-olds and all that. Let's see here if there was another question. So I think I did answer that. If not, I guess someone will have to let me know. All right, everybody, again, thank you so much, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.